or not, he's the self-proclaimed governor of Mid-Missouri, and he's the host of TTBS, the podcast. Here's Tom Bradley.
Nikki Garman, thank you so very, very much. Live from Truman's Bar and Grill. I know we had live music here last Saturday night. And there'll be more throughout the summer because they started doing that a while back. And I think good for them, good for us, good for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
And good for musicbeagle.com.
That's right.
And is it okay if I say that Tom Bradley Show, TTBS the podcast, is brought to you in part by musicbeagle.com.
Sure, I love it.
The hunt for live music is on. Follow the Beagle to your favorite live music. And by Budweiser.
I love that you already have a radio voice, but when you go into the ad thing, you have a specific ad radio voice.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
I want to tell you ahead of time, because I'm very talkative in my mind this morning, and I might talk a lot. And you're like, I hate this podcast because I can't stand the way Tom's always talking about crap. I feel like I'm going to talk a lot, so I want to get this out there right now. Our guest today is a personal friend and a personal injury lawyer. What?
Right.
He's an attorney, Tyson Mutrux, and we're good friends. And I think the world of his wife, separately, and as a couple, and their kids. It's a really, really good family. And they live in close proximity to our good friend, big gender Tom Bowman.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
so we've had the chance to do some stuff together, and he's a great guy. I've always wanted to pick the brain of a personal injury lawyer.
For sure.
So money-hungry ambulance chasers or warm-hearted human beings who help in times of trouble.
Yeah.
This is all depending on your perspective.
100%.
Possibly. So we'll enjoy that. With me is Ellis Bennis, floatingaxe.com.
Yeah.
I asked you a question this morning about Instagram and Facebook. I hate them. Let me ask you
You know
this.
we're trying to stream on their platform, right?
Yeah, let me ask you this. You're a father of 4.
I think so. At least that I know about.
How many of them are on social media right now?
Absolutely zero.
And that's on purpose.
100%.
How many of them have their own device, like an iPad?
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
The oldest is almost 15, 14.
Yeah, he'll be 14 next 2 months.
He'll be 14?
The 15. He'll be 15
15
in 2 months, yeah.
And so when do you think he will have himself like a phone?
So we are probably going to do like a flip phone whenever he starts completely driving on his own, which would be 16. So yeah, it'll be just like a flip phone, not a smartphone. So
Okay.
we're trying to ease into that.
You mean if he needs to text somebody, it's going to be 444?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, man. He's
Oh,
going.
God.
I want him on the T9 texting like I had to go through.
Oh. Well, with my older 2 kids, I taught them on a stick shift. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll teach you to drive,
Yeah.
but you'll learn the way I did.
Yeah.
First, get behind a mule, plow a field.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if you can't drive a mule,
Hey, having
you're
a
not gonna
stick
drive
shift today is the best way to guarantee your car doesn't get stolen.
Right.
Because it's like nobody knows how to drive them anymore. It's crazy.
I was on my Harley earlier this week. On a motorcycle, when you're obviously going to be working a clutch and shifting gears, it's an amazing feeling. And I'm so sorry that most people drive automatics and have no idea what it feels like to get in that friction zone of letting the clutch out, putting the clutch in, downshifting, and then hitting that baby. Oh, my God.
Can you shift your bike without using the clutch?
You can, but
Okay.
it's not. You want to be smooth, man.
Yeah.
You
Oh, I
wanna
know.
be smooth.
It was my uncle said that he could do it, and so I had to start practicing doing it. Like I got to the point where I could shift my bike without the clutch, and I could shift my truck without the
Yeah.
clutch. If you match the RPMs just right, it was just a humble brag
I told
from
you
him.
I feel talkative today, so I'll tell you, man, with my 73 Pinto, which was orange, Ford Pinto, that was a 4-speed. And we had this massive snow that came down. It was back in the, I guess it was about 1980, 81. And this snow came, it was like 22 inches or something.
Were you here then?
Here where?
Like in Columbia?
No,
Were you in
no,
where
no,
were you
no,
at then?
No, I was 17.
Yeah.
I
So you were
wasn't-
still in St.
I was
Louis?
like 33,
Yeah.
driving a 1973 orange Pinto.
But so you were still in St. Louis.
I
That's
was
where
in
this
St.
happened.
Louis, Still
Okay.
living in my family's home.
Okay.
And to get out of the neighborhood, I took a shovel with me, and I would work down the street. And when I got stuck, I would.
You dig it out as you're driving?
It's a stick shift. I would put it into first gear, and I would take my foot off of the clutch and let the wheels begin spinning. And I would step.
Get out!
I would step out of the car, shovel, work it, and then run after it and catch that car. It's a true story. Coming up at the end of the podcast, we will have Keep Your Eye on the Crap, brought to you by Family Focus Eye Care. They're celebrating their big birthday this afternoon.
Nice.
And the grand opening of their sister clinic, I guess,
Yeah.
if that's fair to call it that,
It's
because
our hot sister that lives right next door.
well, it is, because it's Retuva Medical Spa. And so you've got Family Focus Eye Care and then their sister location, which is Ratuva Medical Spa, with its grand opening. They just moved there, and that's all going in this afternoon, 4 to 7. More on that later on. And we will also get into our I'll tell you this. The announcement this week is not a life-shifting big announcement unless you didn't already hear it this week, and then you'd be like, WTF. Which I mentioned to our guest this morning. We say bad words on here all the time, and you said, not we.
Yeah.
Will you say WTF?
Sure. Yeah. It stands for what the fudge.
Because I just said WTF, and I'm just like, we know what it stands for. It stands for what the fuck, and
LOL.
You're just not going to do that, are you? All right, time for our I-70 update. Did you get to see me on the new ramp?
Oh, no. Huh? You mean the roundabout? Or I'm sorry, not roundabout. The one at Grindstone. Not Grindstone. Yeah, Grindstone, right?
Grindstone
yeah.
exit off of
there
Highway
are
63.
so many people that aren't getting that right now.
No.
I drove through it the other day just for the fun of it. My wife and I were out driving, so we're like, hey, let's go through the new Grindstone intersection.
Well, and I've told you, with the I-70 update and the progress going on over there, there's so much, and there's so much safety issue. I mean, there's so much danger out there. For our workers from Emery Sapp & Sons, your locally grown and employee-owned company, and for you and your fellow asshole drivers out there. And you guys got to slow down, but you need to know what's going on also. Yep. And by seeing the people that didn't know that this new ramp opened or what they should do.
Did you see, there's a picture of a guy that was standing out there that said no U-turns. Did you see this on social media?
Was he asking for money?
No, he literally just held up a sign that said no U-turns, go that way. I was like, way to go, man. Way to go.
From ESS, I want to be the first to wish you happy Trench Safety Week. It's serious for them.
It's like World War II warfare.
Trench Safety Week. That's what it sounds like. We're taking time during Trench Safety Week to remind our employee owners of the importance of making sure every trench is safe before entering. I don't enter trenches, they do.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that they have to do. And the asphalt plant at Midway is up and running. It's producing tons of asphalt per hour. Jeez. And it's important you know why it is there. This temporary location between MoDOT, neighbors that have been a part of this as well, and ESS, and all of us. It's closer to the actual point of action.
Yep.
So instead of an asphalt plant that's 10 or 15 or 22 miles away producing this and trucks going back and forth, it's all being created right there.
That's so cool. They can just mobile set up this plant. That's awesome.
Do you know what temperature asphalt has to be when it's applied down as pavement or whatever?
It's boiling. I mean, it's like, it's got to be 200 degrees or something like that?
I don't know the actual temperature. I just want to see if you would.
I'm going to Google it.
No, you don't have. Well, okay. Go right ahead. Emery Sapp & Sons also reminds us they're working within about 25 feet of space with tens of thousands of cars passing by on each side every single day as they're working on these. And they've been doing it down in the Wentzville area, and now they're taking care of the entire Improve I-70 project from all the way through Columbia out to the Rocheport Bridge over the Missouri River. Right. So what is the temperature?
275 to 350.
275, 350, whatever it takes.
Wow.
Yeah. And if it drops below like the 275, or I don't know what the magic line is, it can't go down.
Right. It solidifies.
That's like 250 or something. And they're like, it's 250. They have to make sure they've got a temperature check on it the whole time. They're like, that's 250. Get it off my property.
Billy, heat it up.
I don't think they can.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it's already done. Also, I want to mention that in St. Louis there was a sinkhole.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah, it was like swallowing the freaking highway.
Do you know what caused the sinkhole there?
Garbage? I don't know. No.
I thought it might have to do with all the rain, the heavy,
very hot,
the heavy deluge
Wash
rain.
It underneath there.
It's not. City water officials said the problem started with a leaking 20-inch water main.
That's a big pipe.
20-inch. I want that bitch at a water park.
Yeah.
That's what I want going on. 20-inch water main. It affected nearby 10 and 12-inch water mains in the same corridor. All this water started coming out, eats away the ground underneath it. Poof, sinkhole. And I-44 being closed down earlier this week in a couple of directions.
Usually they're not man-made problems. Like usually it's, there's something under the soil or whatever. But yeah, they literally cause that.
Yeah, and those sinkholes that happen on their own, they freak me out.
Oh, yeah.
I worried about that when we bought a piece of ground and built a new home on it.
Right.
But your voice just broke because you're scared. You're scared for me.
Terrified.
Like, right?
And you're on like this steep hill and stuff
Yeah.
too. But no, I thought there would be a lot more quicksand in my life, and I thought I would be on fire a lot more often. Right? As much as we worried about quicksand, and as much as we practiced stop, drop, and roll, I've never fallen into quicksand, and I've never been on fire to need
God,
either
you're
one of those things.
You are so right.
But sinkholes in this lake, nobody told us about these.
Between Gilligan's Island and the G.I. Joe action figurine guys that I grew up with,
Love it.
I was always creating quicksand out in the backyard.
Yeah.
I wanted to fall into quicksand in my life.
Look, I can
so
do
bad. Yeah, because I know how to get out because I've watched Gilligan's Island. Okay, it's our big announcement of the week brought to you by Creekside Pet Center. They had the celebration, the free family fishing day this past Sunday. I don't care how hot it got last week or how chilly and cold and rain pouring down on Sunday. The high was 74. It was beautiful, breezy, and sunny. And the lake at Dirty Harry's in Boonville was surrounded by everyone out there fishing. And I went out and hung with the Brummets. And Jacob Brummett was out there fishing. And when you're a father and you've got 2 young daughters or sons or anybody, you're out there, you're taking care of the hooks.
Yep.
I want to tell you about why the Brummets, who have Creekside Pet Center and Bed and Biscuit, both in Columbia, and Dirty Harry's in Boonville, why they take care of our pets and why it's right that they own businesses together. 3 fishing poles got tangled up.
Oh, no.
So there was a woman next to, and then there was the 2 girls, the 2 young daughters. They all got them tangled together. And here goes Jacob picking it all up, this rat's nest tangled up in his hands. And Amanda reaches out and holds the bobber and holds a couple pieces of fishing line. He goes, yeah, you got the bobber, and you got those. Let me work on this. I have never seen 2 adults ever work on tangled fishing lines together. And if I was working on it, you go, Tom, let me help you. I'd say, get the hell away from me.
I would just cut the line and be done. I do not have that kind of patience.
Jacob had a pocket knife in his pocket because he's an outdoors guy like that. And he didn't cut the line. And the 2 of them separated it all.
That's amazing.
And the girls got the fishing poles back. And
that is a level of patience
and
I
they
don't
took care of it.
have.
I looked at him like, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Thank you to everyone at Creekside Pet Center, the great family. Here's your big announcement. If you already know about this, it's not a big deal. But if you don't know about it, it's a big deal. Black Bear at my gym in Columbia this week. Now,
I saw this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just outside.
Yeah, and the guy that was interviewed on Channel 8, he's one of the guys behind the counter. We walk into Planet Fitness. Is like, so I came in and I go, "What's up, Bear Man?"
Bear Man.
We
That
saw
would be
him
the greatest.
I saw him the next morning on Monday morning at
Was
like,
he the one that did the video too?
I don't think he did I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
he did, but he's the one that KOMU interviewed.
Right here in Columbia, man.
And so,
city limits.
if you go back and look at one of the still pictures of the bear crossing an empty roadway in Columbia,
Yep.
unless this is a cart path on a golf course, this is a real road.
Yeah.
I think it's Nifong Boulevard.
Yeah.
That bear is not small.
Yeah.
Because you can look at this thing. It's all from a distance, and he's taking up a great portion of the lane.
Yeah.
So I'm not an expert on wild animals, although I did let Daisy Jane attack a raccoon on our deck this week. I'll save that for next week. But I'm telling you, this is a Papa Bear, and he has found food, and he's hanging around Columbia because we all eat very, very well.
Yep.
And when people eat well, bears eat better.
Yep.
That's the way it goes. And so I think he's going to be here for a while. I believe they're going to have to tranquilize this bear and send him on his way. And when they do, I hope they use a blow dart, and I hope they let me. Don't forget, I get to do shit like this. I hope they let me be the one to actually and blow it out there. I've been known to blow it out throughout my life. All right, it is time to bring our guest on this morning, and
We should ask him who's responsible if a bear attacks your customer at your gym.
that's a great idea. Tyson Mutrux is, I said personal injury lawyer. Is that how you?
That's how you call it.
That's
yeah.
what you say.
That's what you say. Yeah.
I don't know. Is that when you go to your high school reunion? It's like, Tyson, what do you do now? Well,
I've never been to a high school reunion.
Me
Never.
neither. Me neither. I'm right
Never.
there with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Never.
Why not?
I didn't care.
I don't know if
that.
Hallsville has them. I went to Hallsville. I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know.
I mean, they teach children there. Children graduate from high school. I would think that you would have high school reunion. It is a high
I'm sure they
school.
do. There's probably someone listening like, you idiot. There is definitely a high school reunion, but I've never been to it.
It's so
Mine have had them. I'm just like, I didn't like any of you then. I don't want to talk to you now.
I don't know. I mean, Did you ever go to like a law school reunion? Where did you go to law school?
Did you graduate from law school?
Yeah, I did. Yes. St. Louis University is where I went. Like, no, like we don't really have reunions for that, but like I hang out with a lot of those people, anyways.
Did I ever ask you? Did you know? I don't know if you refer to him as professor, but Pete Salsic.
Yeah, Pete's great.
Have we talked about him?
I don't think we.
Wait, is that Pete junior or senior?
He's junior.
You're talking about junior. Now he was.
I had
we went
senior
to
as a
grade
professor.
school together.
Okay.
And then I go off to high school.
Senior or junior? You went to grade school.
Oh,
with?
you son of a.
Yeah, that is quite the insult because senior is getting up there in age.
I don't know if his father is still alive today, but the last time I talked to Pete, which was about probably just before COVID, his father was still around. I think was no longer at SLU.
Yeah, I can't remember. My buddy came up with a nickname for him, and the screen lawyer. We called him the screen lawyer.
Wait. Which one? Senior, junior?
Junior.
Okay.
Because he represents people that are on screen all the time, so that's why we were calling him the screen lawyer. Like that's his little nickname.
What do you
for him.
mean on screen?
Like TV, YouTube, whatever. Like that. Like, it wasn't just TV. It wasn't just YouTube. We were like screen lawyer.
So he's representing like high-profile people, like people that you're watching on.
Sometimes,
on
but there's a lot of people on screen that are not
That's
so
true.
high profile.
Look at us.
Yeah.
I told
Case
you.
in point. Exactly.
I told you that I feel talkative today.
Yeah,
I got to tell you a story about Pete Salsic and me as adults. Okay?
I can't wait because I'm going to text him right after.
And you should. You should, because he's still probably telling stories about this at the bar. He's like, let me tell you this time I ran back at the top. So I knew what Pete was doing. Besides helping people like that, he was also working with things like patent attorneys and helping with products and I guess inventions and things like that. I have an ex-brother-in-law that at the time was still a brother-in-law. He's a wonderful guy. And he owned a tavern. And he came up with a great little device he was using to help keep beer from having to wait for the foam to die down. They're too big of a head on top of a big pint of beer. Oh, cool. And so it was very, very simple. And I was like, we should actually produce these things and market it out there. And he's like, that's a great idea. So we started working on the idea, and I go, I'd like to go see an attorney and see if they have any recommendations for us. And I know one, Pete Salsic, from grade school. And so I went through and I picked up my brother-in-law. We drove into downtown St. Louis, and went into a nice building, and there's Pete. He's got his, and he brings us in, and it's wonderful, and he sits down in this nice conference room, and I go, so Nick, do you want to show him what we're talking about? And Nick's like, oh yeah. And he reaches into, he's got like a jacket, like a leather jacket on. He's like, oh yeah. And he reaches in his pocket, he pulls out, and it's just a clear tube. It's all it is.
Hey, you had not seen it yet.
Not really.
No.
And I'm like, so, could have put that in a little box or something, maybe with my velvet line.
A little more flair.
Yeah.
But clearly there was no way to patent this clear tube,
when
right?
you talk to Pete next, you'll be telling this, and Pete's gonna be like, I remember it well because I looked at Pete. Pete's face was like, you could see him like he turned his head slightly like a dog that doesn't know what they're hearing, and he didn't want to laugh, and he didn't want to say WTF, so he just kind of. Okay, so I see what that so that's okay, yeah. And I was like, oh boy.
Oh, did you know that Pete's in a band?
Yeah, I haven't heard the band.
Yeah, he's still in the band.
He's playing guitar and singing and doing that whole thing.
All that fun stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so he goes in that direction. You get into personal injury law. Did you always want to do that before you became a lawyer?
No, so I used to work at State Farm years ago, and it was funny. Whenever I went to law school, they when Yellow Pages were actually still a thing, they went and take a bunch of Yellow Pages and all the attorney ads. They took and put my face on all of the attorney ads, and it was like a big joke. And so I never thought I had the same view. Ambulance chasers, they're out there for money.
Right.
And my first internship was for an injury firm, and I wanted to try cases. That's all I knew. I wanted to try cases. I wanted to be in the courtroom. So I get into personal injury. I'm like, oh, this is way different than I ever thought it was going to be. And the people that are saying they're ambulance chasers, that's all just fed by the insurance company lobby. It's a big thing. And all that back then tort reform was a big deal. It's not as big of a deal anymore, but all tort reform is people taking rights away from you is all it really is. And so you realize now that people are just you're helping people that are fighting against big institutions, whether it's the government, whether it's
you're the lawyer behind
companies.
Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a lot. All of the safety protocols, not always good, but a lot of the safety changes, like seatbelts, those were because of personal injury attorneys. So it was completely different. It changed my perspective completely, and then I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Oh, look, I mean, like anything else, I mean, they're like you look at teachers or cops or whoever it might be. 99.9% of them are fantastic if they're there for the right reason, and some of them just aren't very good. There are people that aren't good people that can become lawyers, and if they're an unscrupulous individual, they're probably going to be an even more unscrupulous attorney, correct?
Yeah, can I tell you a story about?
Yeah, you
about
can.
that?
That's literally what we're here for.
Yes.
There is we have no guardrails, as you've learned already.
Well, you're gonna love this.
All right.
I don't know if I should mention this. I'm gonna mention his name.
I want to hear everything.
So there was this guy I went to school with, law school.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loved him. Him and his wife Claire. They were.
Okay, now I can look him up. I know who he is
yes.
now.
His name is Mike Jones. I'll just tell his name.
Okay.
Because he was. You'll be able. There's a lot online about him. I'll just tease it for a second. So
Not me.
everyone
Googling
loved him, right?
now.
So I remember after law school, like actually in the middle of law school, he started saying he had all these cancers. He had brain cancer. He had prostate cancer. All the bad cancers. Remember, like we thought he was going to die. Next thing you know, he's like living well beyond law school, and next thing you know, we're like he's arrested for murdering his girlfriend, strangling her.
Oh, no wonder you were comfortable mentioning his name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although if he's getting out soon.
He's not getting out soon. He was
All right.
convicted already.
Okay.
But he strangled her and threw her in the trunk.
Oh, my God.
Where this gets a little closer to home, like Amy and I were married at the chapel over at Stevens College. You know,
Okay.
what's that?
Bars Chapel?
I think it's called Bars Chapel.
Yeah.
Amy's watching, so she'll be able to correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong about the name of the chapel. But he was at our freaking wedding, and I've got a picture of him hugging her.
Oh, yeah, he was hugging her. He was getting ready to strangle her.
So it was
We're
the last.
laughing. This isn't funny. I'm
no,
sorry.
Yeah.
but he had. You're talking about people like graduating law school. They're not good people.
Yeah.
He had convinced. He apparently never passed the bar. We thought he was this brilliant, smart guy.
He's Mike from Suits.
Yes, he had never passed the bar. Mike's apparently smart. I've never seen that show, but Mike Jones didn't pass the bar. He had lied about, said that he had passed the bar, had gotten this company to pay him $250,000 a year to down in Florida. Didn't have a bar law license. They thought he did. He didn't. That's
awesome.
Yeah, and
They were
Isn't
paying
there
him
a way to check that? Like,
they were
isn't there a
paying him-
database?
yes, there is, and they didn't do it. Yes,
But they were paying him as an attorney?
yes,
Oh, my
yes.
Lawyers that don't have good attention to detail, not a great sign,
This,
guys.
I mean, the story gets wilder and wilder. It was so yes.
This needs to be a Netflix special.
Yes,
man.
it should be.
Right.
And buddy of mine
Netflix,
keeps,
if you're listening, make this.
well, buddy of mine keeps trying to convince me to go down and interview him and in the jail and talk to him.
I said online, he's got life without parole, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm over here Googling while he's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, yes.
Yes, it can be the
Saul-
case.
he's
all
got
the way
Saul
through.
Goodman over
Okay,
here.
let's go back before law school. I'm gonna do a pre and a post law school. As a kid growing up, your favorite movie with an attorney as a central figure.
Oh, yeah, I mean, A Few Good Men. I mean,
Okay.
it was
all right.
always, yes.
So because you said you wanted to be in a courtroom.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a guy who had never been in a courtroom. He walks in and he's like, so this is what a courtroom looks like. He's like, oh, this is smug asshole sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. So, but you were into it. You loved it.
I loved it. It was
I did
great.
too.
Now, the rules of
I don't
evidence.
even like Tom Cruise, and I've watched that movie 20 times.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you still not like Tom Cruise?
I mean, if he came walking in, I wouldn't be like, hey, Tom, I'd like to talk
Well,
to you.
Maverick? Do you like Maverick?
The new one?
The movie? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
You
Oh,
didn't
man.
like it?
No,
It was still
most
pretty
most
good.
of, I just
like it.
watched recently Minority Report
Oh, yeah.
with Tom Cruise, and I've seen
Like
that
for the first time?
No.
recently?
Like
Oh,
I've watched
okay.
it 3
You
or
just
4
rewatched
times.
it, yeah.
I think it's done very, very well.
Yeah.
I think that was a director.
Oh, I don't know.
So I think Spielberg did that. As a matter of fact, it's very well put together. Cruise does a great job in his movies. I
Yeah.
just don't care for him.
I
and
saw
I
that
wish I didn't
movie.
like him in the movies so much.
I saw that movie by myself whenever I was in the Army at AIT. I was doing my job training. I had nothing else to do. I watched that movie by myself.
Yeah.
The only time in my life I've ever been to a movie by myself.
So,
funny.
so
It
you
was
loved-
Spielberg, by the way. Good memory.
You love Tom Cruise, and you watched that.
Yep.
And you were literally a child still.
Oh, I mean, I was probably middle school or high school.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
early high school. So you're
Yeah,
watching.
yeah.
Like, at that point, did you want to be an attorney?
So I did. So I never thought I was going to have the opportunity. Like, we just didn't have money growing up. My dad didn't own his business until after I graduated high school.
Well, we'll pause for a second. Now, your
Yeah.
parents, so very well known and loved in the Columbia community for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason they're so well known is because of what they were doing,
Sure.
what they owned. So explain that, please.
Yeah, so they had Mutrix Automotive. They started that. It was the year I went to basic training. So But growing up, though, he was working for. I mean, he was a mechanic, so it wasn't like he was making a ton of money. My mom was helping support the family, like she was staying at home for the most part. And
Right.
So, I just didn't think it was in the cards. I just really didn't. It was
And then of all the schools to go to, you wound up at St. Louis University.
St. Louis University. Yeah.
Not exactly a cheap thrill.
Well, no, I got really good advice from a family friend. She said, "Hey, like you went to Mizzou undergrad, you should go to expand your network. Go to a school outside of Columbia." Actually, in hindsight, it was great advice. At the
Yeah.
time, I was a little skeptical, but it was actually great advice.
Yeah, and I think St. Louis University is pretty cool the way that it's situated in St. Louis, and you can be in that general area, and it's cool, right?
Yeah, the new law school. So I went to the old law school, which is on the main campus. The new one it's a brilliant idea because it's within walking distance of 2 main courthouses. You got the city courthouse,
Smart.
you got the federal courthouse. I guess really 3 main courthouses. You got the traffic courthouse downtown, the municipal courthouse downtown too.
Now, in your view, nationwide, St. Louis University a little more prestigious than Mizzou Law School, or
No, from a national ranking standpoint, Mizzou's a higher ranked school.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
And for personal injury law, does that have anything to do with going to SLU?
No, nothing at all.
Any of them, you could go and get into anything like
Yeah,
that. It
yeah.
wouldn't be a big deal. I just this week had a conversation Sunday morning with my sister-in-law, who slipped and fell at a work location, fractured her pelvis.
Jeez.
It's
And
a tough injury.
And is now, is it a tough injury to sue for?
No, not at all.
All right, good. And so it's been probably a year and plus since it happened. I think maybe a year and a half now since it happened. And so she's 12 months into the work in the personal injury lawsuit. And I think she's hoping something will happen in the next 6 months or so. But that would have to be them deciding to settle out of court, I think. 'Cause
Yeah, it is. What's interesting about that is so she's a year in. She's probably still treating from it because it's a broken pelvis. I mean, that's a tough injury.
Right.
The recovery is tough. So here's what's interesting. She probably hasn't filed suit yet. She probably pre-suit, right? Does that sound about right?
I don't know. I mean, there's been some questions, and what is the initial area there is when you're
We have the demand and negotiations. They're doing unless they're
discovery.
interacting.
Discovery.
Oh, so they are in litigation then.
okay. So they are underway with discovery.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting that they would have filed suit so soon unless they just denied liability. That with a premises case like that where it's a fall.
Yeah.
It's common that they just deny liability because a lot of injury attorneys don't file suit on premises cases because they're more challenging than like a car crash. So that's probably why they had to file suit so early.
So she was already denied right up front, and then it was like, well, then I'm going to get somebody.
Yep.
And the attorney goes, we're going in right away. And immediately the defense started throwing roadblocks in.
Yep.
And they do that as long and as much as they can just to keep you out on the ropes with this thing.
Time is the enemy of an injury case. So what the defense will try to drag it out as long as possible. There's multiple reasons. One, they want to try to create that tension for your client because who is it that what was your
My
relationship?
sister Sherry.
Your sister.
Sister-in-law.
So your sister-in-law Sherry. So Sherry, she was laid up for how long? Probably a month and a half, 2 months probably.
I don't know. I'm in pain just thinking of what it must feel like to have that happen.
So there's no work. You're not working for
Right.
a month and a half. You can't drive for a month and a half. And so like the expense, their home expenses have gone up.
They're trying to make that settlement look as good as possible,
Exactly.
right? They want you as stressed as possible and want this over with.
Exactly. So they'll drag it out for that reason alone. But then also, whenever a jury sees that a case is a little bit older, they're going to be like, well, this is a really old. They start to have questions. And so
You look
don't-
fine now.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big part of
Oh,
it.
is that really?
That's a big part of it. Yeah.
But if
so
they find out that the lawsuit was filed right away because there was a denial right away, does that?
they don't always. They're not going to hear that. That's not something that the jury's going to get to hear. And there's a lot of things like. A jury doesn't get to hear about all that. They don't get to hear about negotiations. They don't get to hear about insurance at all. They don't get to hear unless you're suing your own insurance company. They never get to hear the word insurance. So there's all these things that you have these obstacles that
You
you're
mean
facing.
that's out of bounds for you guys?
That's out of bounds.
Why? Why is all that crap out of bounds? That makes no sense to me at
Yeah,
all.
it's called collateral source. You're not allowed to hear about who might pay for it. That's they don't want the jury to be influenced by that. I don't necessarily agree with it,
Yeah.
but there is some reasoning to it.
God, you mentioned time being of the. Let's say somebody gets in a car accident, you pretty much know that you weren't at fault and somebody else was. Should I reach out to you immediately, or can I wait a week and a half? Okay, so
let me ask you this.
All right.
Let me answer your question with a question. Do you think it's
a very lawyer
does it
thing
make
to do.
sense? Well, yeah, does it make sense for you to wait and to investigate whenever the insurance company is already investigating?
Yeah.
Well, I guess not.
I guess no. So that's where the people make a mistake. They're like, and it's a reasonable mistake. What they do is they're like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm going to be okay. It's fine. The insurance company probably take care of it. No big deal. Then they get a weekend and they're like, oh, they're asking for a recorded statement. Why are they wanting a recorded statement? I'm really starting to get into some pain because right after a crash, you're usually not in a lot of pain. It usually takes a few days for it to kind of kick in because your adrenaline is kicked in, and so the pain starts to build. And next thing you know, you're up shit creek without a paddle, and they've already done their investigation. You've given them the benefit of the doubt, and the reason why they did the recorded statement because they want to say, "Here's how it usually starts. Hey Tom, how you doing today?" And you say,
fine.
"I'm fine."
Yep.
Oh, snippet. Let's use that little snippet. You just said you're fine. Okay, and they're going to walk you. You should see these transcripts. They'll walk you down this little path like you're okay. Oh yeah, but you think you'll be okay in a few weeks, right?
Well, with you telling me this, I don't care how I feel. I don't ever want to talk to them.
no,
you shouldn't.
You absolutely shouldn't.
Yep.
Is that the same thing that your friends from law school who went into criminal defense that they would advise? If
Yes.
you get arrested, don't say a thing.
Oh my gosh!
Call
yeah.
me.
I hope my kids never break the law, but we watch all kinds of like law enforcement, good and bad videos. And I have been training my kid. Again, I love law enforcement, but they are legally allowed to lie to you. They are legally allowed to lead you. And so I told my kids, I was like, if you're ever arrested, if anything ever happens, I was like, you have one word and only one word that should come out of your mouth: lawyer. That's it. I was like, that's the only word you should say.
This is you guys are really making me think now because I think there's a chance that sometime recently, I'm not going to say when, that possibly maybe that I broke the law.
Oh snap!
Oh.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
Well,
allegedly.
then you should shut your mouth right now and not say another word about it. Yeah.
By the way, this is recorded live.
Yeah.
streamed.
But I've already said if I was arrested for this, it makes my story that much better for the next 30 years.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
And
I know what you're talking
and
about.
I've never been. Oh yeah, you do.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And I told you specifically, don't talk about it on the podcast.
So I've broken all my stupid
Yes.
rules. I should be
And he's going to be the one called as a witness against you.
Oh,
Yeah.
and here they're going to be. Are you a Christian,
I can neither
sir?
confirm nor deny. I do not recall.
Okay, as a guy that consulted companies for advertising, mostly advertising, but for the last 15, 20 years, a lot of business consulting that I do. And I would say, in fact, I've got a guy that's launching a new product right now, or at least a new division in his product. And I go, dude, why are you doing anything without you should? This is why I'm on board. You should be talking to me about this. So don't we all do that? Hey, call me before anything happens here. Or is it really more important than what you're talking about? I mean, people could lose. Maybe they're really due $1 million to take care of them for the rest of their lives, and they've screwed themselves out of even getting $10,000.
Yeah, so it is a big deal. I mean, you're talking at a minimum probably costing yourself tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I heard, even attorneys get it wrong. So like attorneys that refer us cases, it was really kind of interesting. I've got a case where it's settled years ago, but the guy emailed me this case like, hey, I've got this little small car crash case. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I'll look into it. Like, because a lot of times you don't know if it's a good case at the very beginning. You just don't know. And so he was an estate planning attorney. He just sends it on to me. He thinks it's like just a little fender bender.
Uh-huh.
And we ended up getting $500,000 on that case. And it's just he just thought it was like some little basic case. And if a person just off the street, if they try to handle it themselves, it's a $30,000 case.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
Anybody out here, I don't care what you're doing and how much you've got in your bank account right now or don't have in there. For anybody to receive, let's just say that their take on it was a check of $500,000. For anybody here to get a check like that today, that's a big difference in your life. I don't care if you make $250 a year. You guys are probably spending a crap ton of that already. So $500,000 in your pocket.
Tax-free, too.
Yep.
Tax-free.
Settlements are tax-free.
Yeah.
That's an amazing amount of money.
There's some exceptions to that, like if it's punitive damages, that's taxable, which is that's a scam for the state. But we can talk about that if you want. And then if it's for like lost wages, so the key is to shape it so that it's not for lost wages, it's for your injuries.
So if it's for lost wages, it'll be taxed as if it were wages.
Exactly right.
Well, son of a bitch, I don't want that to happen.
No, so you have to shape the release to make sure that it doesn't include that. That's why it's not taxable.
Explain the damages thing, not the taxes, but the damages thing. I never get
So
this.
the punitive damages? Is that okay, so punitive damages, let's say that's if like they did something really bad. I'm gonna make it really simple. Let's say that the defendant did something really bad. Let's say they were a drunk driver. Okay, we'll use that as an example. That's the most common one. So let's say you get you go to trial. And because the only way you're going to get punitive damages is if you go to trial. So you go to trial, you get a massive verdict, and let's say you get, and this is a common scenario. Let's say you get $300,000 for your injuries, $5 million for punitive damages. So the bulk of it's punitive damages. The state gets half of it. They get cut it in half. They get half of it.
Screw them and the
half of
horse
the
they rode
punitive.
in on.
Yep, exactly right.
But none of the 300,000 you quoted.
Exactly
Right?
right.
And what do you call? What's the 300,000?
Let's say that's just like the damages award. that they
Okay,
do. And
like
then you get-
actual damages and pain and suffering and stuff like that.
Yeah, pain and suffering.
But the punitive is like, you son of a bitch.
Exactly
It's
right.
that one.
Yep.
It's that portion of it.
That's ridiculous.
So how do you get the 5,300,000 without giving half of that punitive to the state?
Well, it's if you don't do a punitive damages claim, but if you don't do a punitive damages claim, you might not be able to present some of the evidence, which is part of it too. So, and
Wow.
I will also say this: the vast majority of cases don't have punitive damages. It's usually someone that's screwed up, is what it is. It's not that they meant to do it; they didn't go out and drink a bunch of alcohol. That does happen, but the average case isn't like that.
So you've got to you want to get as much money as possible for this client of yours.
Right.
All right. If there's only $300,000 in what you and I would say behind the scenes is like the actual damages, but this person now has a weird limp for the rest of their life, you want to put a dollar amount on that and their life expectancy, and then include that in the actual damages. Is that correct?
You do, but I will say this though: a lot of times we're confined by the amount of insurance. So, let's say it's a $25,000 policy. You're in a car crash. Well, many times you're limited to that $25,000 because the defendant doesn't have any money.
Because that's state minimum, right?
State minimum, which is if you want to change any law, change
That's
that one.
got to be
That's
changed,
I mean, pretty much every case is worth $25,000. I mean, like that's with
How
medical
long
bills.
has that number been 25,000?
Since I've been practicing, so 16 years at least. And
Hell,
it's-
you want to talk about the rate of inflation over the last 5-6 years?
Exactly right.
25,000 isn't what it was 15 years ago.
Well, if you look at property damage claims, sometimes there's a limit on property damage claims where the minimums are met on that really quickly because the cost of parts has gone up so high.
Yep.
So that's another problem too, where you've got, and we see that more on the Illinois side, where because we have cases in Illinois as well, where because the limits are a little bit lower, so you
Right.
see it hit the limits a lot sooner now, and then they're having to dip into their own insurance company.
Let me throw this out there because we're just if interrupt at any moment
yeah,
here if you
I'm
want to
fascinated.
throw something in there. You and I are going to go back a little walk in history here without talking about who we're talking about. There's someone that you and I are aware of, and you were consulted on this because someone was looking at the possibility of suing this individual. And you said, I don't know if they've got any money, and you said they'll be going after did you say homeowners insurance?
Homeowners insurance. Yep.
Homeowners insurance to try and make a claim on this. How much money can you get out of something like that?
Depends on the house. The nicer the house, the more insurance usually. That's usually how it works.
Okay.
And it also depends if there's an umbrella policy. I can't remember if there's an umbrella in that case. I don't know if you remember that or not.
No, but how much does that have to do with the person who owns the home? Like, will they be like, well, they're suing. It's the insurance company. It has nothing to do with us. Does it have nothing to do with them, really?
Not necessarily, because if the person did something wrong, so let's say that the homeowner did something wrong, then you get to the insurance, right?
Uh-huh.
If the homeowner didn't do anything wrong, then there's good luck. You're not going to get the insurance, but the insurance is still going to defend you, though, which is the good part.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting the way that all comes together.
So when you say homeowner doesn't do something wrong, like if somebody trips on my sidewalk walking up to my house, like I've done nothing wrong, like there's not a break in it or whatever.
Well,
then here's the personal injury lawyer.
So
but, I mean, because like what is the homeowner doing something wrong? Like not repairing something and they fall through the floor because of the toilet?
If it's a known danger, so if it's a
Okay.
danger that you knew about, you have it's the law in Missouri that you have a responsibility to make that safe, right? So if for example, Tom, Big Gender, he kind of was joking with me about this because like we had on our sidewalk this little bitty lip, and it was driving me crazy. So, and I didn't want to pay somebody to come out and jack up the freaking.
Yep.
It was like this
Right.
this
Yep.
big.
Right.
Because like I tripped on it a few times, so I had knowledge of it. So I took a mat.
The lawyer's like,
Yes.
I tripped on this. I tripped on
That's right. Well,
Put a mat.
I found a perfectly. The thickness of it was perfect, where I put it right where that spot is, and now you can't tell. You just walk right over it. So there's no lip anymore.
Well,
'cause there's a
that's-
mat right there.
That's pretty good thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you do have an obligation to that thing.
You do have an obligation.
Which means I do at the sidewalk in front of my house.
Everywhere. So,
I am going this
Yes.
weekend to get a jackhammer, and I'm going to fix a damn. I got a problem out
Yes.
there. But remember, I didn't talk about this because I had no
No,
idea.
not at all.
No prior
Well,
knowledge.
Well, welcome to my life. Everything's a freaking danger. Like that's where like
Yeah.
I look everywhere. It's like warning sign, warning sign,
Yeah.
warning sign, warning sign. It's funny because I ride a motorcycle like you do.
Yes.
I fly, so like I do dangerous things. But when it comes to like looking for things for dangers, I'm always keeping an eye out for them.
I have someone I know that did fall on a premises. Did I talk to you about this? I don't know if I reached out to you or not about
I don't
this
remember.
thing. And maybe I should have immediately. I don't know. And I don't think we were looking for any kind of a major windfall on this thing. But where it happened, the business said, "Oh, you guys, you can't file a claim against us. You'll put us out of business." And it was like, wow. And then that left a little bit of a personal, maybe we should let that go. Is that true? And if they're a friend, should you just let it go?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the lawyer answer. It depends, because there are times where we've had cases where the client could get more money if they went to trial, or if they waited a little bit longer, they could get more money. But it's in their best interest just to wrap things up. And so I'll just tell them, I say, listen, I could get more money as a fee if we tried this case, but for you might want to consider settling this case because do you really want to wait another 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, a year for this trial? This is causing you a bunch of stress. So in that situation, it really depends on what's your relationship with that person.
Uh-huh.
I mean, do you want to keep that relationship?
Insurance, it shouldn't put them out of business.
Well,
right?
that's the
because
thing.
It's the insurance.
They
I mean,
should have had insurance, but they might not have. There's a lot
Oh,
of
okay.
companies that go around here without insurance, and they should have insurance.
Yeah.
You would assume they have
Or
insurance.
they
but
thought they had the
don't.
right in kind of insurance and they didn't have this kind or
If
whatever.
you're open to the
so-
public, isn't there a law saying that you have to have some level of
There,
coverage?
there are, but I'll tell you my perspective on it. If you get injured at my house, I am more than happy to give you my insurance. I have insurance for a reason, and if I actually truly care about you as a friend or as a family member, then I want to make sure you get better and you're compensated for something I did. And I wish more people were like that. Not a lot of
or
people,
not even that you did, just that it happened there.
Yes, yeah.
And because it shouldn't come like, is there? I mean, I guess there would be the deductible. Like, if somebody gets injured on my property, I think we have a. No, I'm not gonna say never mind.
Well, you probably wouldn't
I've
have a
got
deductible.
$5,000 in coverage for anybody that gets hurt at my house, but we have like a deductible for that. So
Well,
that
you
would
probably
be,
wouldn't have a deductible for that. If
Okay,
if it
for
was
that kind
your
of thing.
claim, yeah, you'd have to pay a deductible. For their claim, there would be no deductible.
Oh,
Your rates
okay.
would go up, though.
Yeah, okay, that's what it is. So
would.
that's where
You-
people are freaking
'cause
out.
you,
Their
what,
rates
you're
going
prone to
up.
being sued
Yeah.
and people getting hurt.
No, the insurance company had to pay out, so they're gonna pun it. They're gonna
Yeah.
hurt you
Well,
for you.
So
not
I've
having
got a
to pay
buddy
out.
who's got. I mean, you want to have a buddy that's an insurance agent. You want a lawyer friend. You want a tax friend, an accountant friend. You want all those things, right? I've got. So if you have a claim on your homeowners, just go to another company and
Oh, yeah.
go to an agent and they'll give you go to one of those brokers that can deal with multiple
Uh-huh.
insurance
Yeah.
companies. They'll get you the same insurance or better insurance for cheaper. So you don't have to stick with that insurance company.
Yeah,
That's a great
smart.
idea.
Very smart.
Take care of that the right way.
Yeah.
Here's where I don't know if I would ever be a good client for you if something happened, because here's the way I feel about it. Let's say something bad happened, all right? Physical pain, whatever. And it screwed me in my ability to earn some money and some of my stuff got hurt, whatever. Let's say it's worth $150,000. I don't want $500,000. And because I don't want 2.5 years of effing with some stupid ass whatever defense attorneys out there and them throwing roadblocks and me getting my emotions in it. I'd much rather have somebody pay the $150,000 today. That's it. And if there needs to be an attorney fee on top of that, which is what, another $40,000 or something?
I mean, it's about a third is roughly
About
what
a
it
third.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want another, I don't know, $70,000, something like that on top of that. And that's going to you. Get this whole thing done. Get it done in the next month. And if they don't do it in the next month, then we're going long ball. We're going all the way.
Right.
I'm going for center field, and I want the bases loaded when I hit that thing. So that's what my thing would be. And you would listen to me, and you would know of my conviction on this thing. Would you take that to them and explain it? Would it make any difference?
I wouldn't take that to them, no, because then they're going to lowball you. I wouldn't explain that situation. But knowing that, you said you wouldn't be a great client. I actually think you'd be a perfect client because we go off of what the client wants. Like what are they comfortable with? If you're not super comfortable with, you're you're a personality. Mm-hmm. You probably don't want a lawsuit. You probably don't want to deal with the discovery of it. You just don't want to go through that.
No.
It's a pain in the butt. So we would just, knowing that, we would go into it when we're negotiating the other side. And we have ways of some tricks we can use, some like little things that we do that we can to move the case forward a little bit faster for you without revealing that, hey, our client really doesn't want to file suit. Because if I say our client doesn't want to go through litigation, they're just going to be like, okay, we're just going to lowball you, and knowing that you're just not going to file suit anyways.
Yeah, yeah. So I gotta really believe that going the long route is great.
Yep.
And then you've got to go sell that to them as well.
Well, we're going to.
He can't wait.
Yeah.
He cannot wait.
Well,
go
that's
to
what we will do. We will sell it from that standpoint,
Yeah.
and we'll be bluffing a bit.
And
He wants to be on the stand so bad.
Put him on.
I do have those clients, by the way.
Yeah.
Like they want nothing but just to have their day in court. That happens.
Does the average person, let's talk about the average person that approaches you. And I don't know if your law firm brings in a certain type and others bring in I don't know. You and I did talk about things like personal injury lawyers and their advertising. We talked before about that.
Yep.
And it's really difficult to go out there and tell people, this is in my heart. I want you to reach out to me. And a lot of them try to do it. There are some that go the complete opposite direction. And there's one running on a national campaign right now, and I think it's on CNN. It's like, hey, you've been hurt? You need to call me now. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
He's like, get a hold of me. That's what made me think about reaching out to you.
Yeah.
I mean, we should get together.
Well,
and
I'm glad they're running those ads in. That's great.
But, I mean, and that's got to hurt you because you're like, oh, man, you're just making our whole industry look horrible out here.
Yeah, I don't like it a lot. I don't know if this is going to offend anybody, but it's whatever. But usually, if you put up billboards, you're going to get billboard clients. So, I don't know how many of my friends are going to look at a billboard and call a professional based on a billboard. Most of them are not going to. They're going to do it based on, they're going to get references from people. They're going to get referrals. They're going to say, hey, have you dealt with this person before? They're going to look them up online, and they're going to do all that research. So they're not going to see a phone number on a billboard and call. So I worked for, in St. Louis, I worked for a volume firm, and that's what they did, and they put up billboards. And
that's a good
it was
moniker,
a different
a
clientele.
volume firm. So I'm in my business networking group. We have a personal injury lawyer in there, and he talks about that. He's like, if you see the guy's picture on the billboard, you're never going to talk to that guy. He's like, you're going to talk to 40 paralegals, and you're never going to actually see that lawyer.
It is. Well, it's worse than that, too.
Yeah.
So here's what's interesting. Well, most people don't realize a lot of those firms, the advertising, they get a big line of credit, right? Mm-hmm. They spend the line of credit at the beginning of the year to run all the ads.
Good.
And what happens is they've got to make – I know this from personal experience working for where I worked. They have got to spend that entire year. They don't break even until like September or October. Whoa. So they got to move cases. They got to push them quick. You can't drag a case out for a couple of years, so you can't get full value sometimes. You got to push, and get those cases
They're
done.
trying to settle as fast as humanly possible.
Exactly right. They have to. Wow. Otherwise, they're in bad shape. So they have to push these cases.
But that means the defense, whoever that is, the insurance company, whoever the hell's on the other side of this thing, they know that. And they're like, we're just going to take our time.
Funny story. Whenever I left that firm to start my own firm, so they track us by tax ID. They track us. They keep a record on all of us. Just like we track them, they track us. Our values, so whenever I started my firm, our values were triple what we were getting at that firm because there was no history, right? I had no, because it's a brand new tax ID.
Yeah.
Theirs, because they knew it was a volume firm. And they did file suit on some cases, but the vast majority of the cases, they were pushing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
God, it is. So then it makes a difference if you're reaching out, and it should be somebody you know. It should always be, at the very least, if you're gonna get intimate to this level, it needs to be someone that's highly recommended and well known by someone very close to you already.
For sure.
I mean, where do you think I get all my referrals? Or if someone calls me and asks me for someone,
Billboards and bus benches, right?
Exactly right. Yeah. It's people that I know that are really good, or I'll ask another attorney friend. My dad needed an attorney whenever they sold the business, and so I called a buddy of mine and said, "Hey, this is a very niche. This is like they're selling a garage with a gas station. Who do you know?" I got a referral from someone in St. Louis, and then we hired that company.
And very specific into that area of law
right,
and that area of a business and property as well
Exactly
that's
right.
being sold. I love that. So let's talk about some of these attorneys that are out there advertising. The amount of money annually that Aaron Sachs and Associates.
Oh my
Must be a
gosh.
fortune.
How would you like to be an associate? It's like, oh, I'm one of the associates.
I'm one of
Aaron
even
Sachs.
worse. I'm one of Sachs Associates.
Well, it's
I'm this
interesting the
close
way
to the sack.
I'm sure Aaron's a great guy. I'm sure he's a great guy. I just think it's interesting how he says Sachs. He like kind of
Yeah.
Sachs and Associates. It's kind of funny.
You say that as a person in the industry, and that's a professional way to handle it. But I got to tell you something, man. Recently, he mentioned in one of his TV ads him losing his wife, and I believe he used that in order to propel Aaron Sachs and Associates to its new heights. And I think that's a nasty
Like she
low
passed away,
at some point. Yes,
and he talked about that in the TV ad.
Yes.
That's smart.
Okay, well,
That's-
it depends. Did he say how did he lose her? Do you know?
And when it wasn't like he lost her from his, she's dead.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering. The reason why I asked is like if it's like part of like your actual story. Like, I started my firm because my wife was in a serious car crash, and I didn't like the way the insurance companies were dealing with her.
Yeah, but she was in a car crash and died, and I started my law firm. I think you're taking that death and you're using it to propel. It's part of your selling. You're selling to make money on this thing. Now, if you're volunteering your time, and this is an ad that somebody else is paying for, and you're bringing people in and you're not charging them a thing, you can talk all about that. If you're going down, if you're a doctor and you're going to Peru to help people in the jungle with their double cleft palate surgeries they need, that's a whole different ballgame.
Sure.
But if you're a dentist down the street and you're using your dead grandma, she had teeth problems. I know. Coming today. Speaking of that, you mentioned
man.
billboard attorneys. Is that what you call them?
Yeah, that's what a lot of us PI attorneys. We don't do a bunch of advertising.
Have you ever seen a billboard selling same-day dentures?
I have not. Is that
Yeah.
a thing?
I think you're driving to work. You're 42 years old. You're right in the prime of your life. You're raising kids. You're doing all this thing. You're like, I really need my life. and you see a sign that says same-day dentures. You're like, you're damn right. I was going fishing, but I've got a couple hours. I'm going there right now. I don't
think the 42-year-old is their core customer. Tom.
I don't. You never know. You never know.
It is grandma who broke them that morning on her hard candies and needs them before bridge that night.
If it was on a Werther's original, don't say bridge when she needs a bridge. If it was on a Werther's original, all right, she wasn't driving on the highway every single day seeing that billboard. I don't know, so it must be for her granddaughter. Grandma, I saw your dentures on the table.
Oh man. Well, and
Okay.
honestly, other than a gas station, I've never gone to a place because I saw a billboard, unless it was a gas station or a restaurant or the fudge place on the way to the
there
Lake
are
Dios
there are
house.
like everything in advertising.
Yeah.
There's great places to advertise
Right.
certain things, and
Yeah.
television can be great to get a message across for personal injury attorneys. But you got to be careful because Aaron Sachs, who's got a really great persona on there, he stepped over the line with that. When he puts Travis Kelce on, and they talk about some great things Travis has done in the communities, I think that's really good. When Aaron brought his son on recently, who looks like he's 16 and a half.
Yes, I did see that one. Yeah,
And he's already an attorney, and it's like,
he's passing the torch.
he's trying to pass the torch, and he can't wait to kind of just let. And I think it's too early on his son to be putting him on there and giving him some cameo shots in the TV ads. I think he should have him first in a non-speaking role. But that's me as an advertising. I recommend it. Let's groom this guy to the point that
I
now
want to use a different term than that.
grooming.
Yeah.
It's so funny because
That's a
I'm
super
hesitant to
negative
use that word.
connotation.
It's
Yes,
his own son.
yes.
So
Well, so you'll see where when you have like a firm that's purchased by another firm, that's one of the techniques where they'll start to introduce them onto the billboards.
Yeah.
Just in the background a little bit,
Yeah.
not in the TV ads or anything. Because that is part of the package, though. Whenever you do the volume, it's you got to do all three. You got to do the radio, you got to do the TV, you got to do the billboards. You can't just do one or the other. Maybe you do two, but you
I'm sure
usually
today,
three.
I mean, we're way onto the digital side too, so they're all online as well
Right.
in everything that you're doing over there.
Speaking of which, do you have like a YouTube channel or something like that?
Yeah.
Do you ever do that?
Yeah, we do
Because
YouTube,
I was telling Tom, I follow several lawyers on YouTube because I mean the stories are interesting and
Yep.
it's really cool to see, and there's some good information that you just don't know this.
So are you doing a regular podcast also?
So I've got a separate company, Maximum Lawyer. So we got the law firm, the Maximum Lawyer. That's where we have the conferences and things like that.
And I don't follow or listen to any podcasts out there, so I don't mean to offend by saying but I do remember there was talk about
this
that.
is for law firm owners, so I wouldn't expect you to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is I shouldn't follow you on Shorts to see what you're talking about.
You should do it. I mean, it's
what is it?
I think it's interesting. Just search up Maximum Lawyer and it'll be on
Maximum
there.
Lawyer?
Yeah, Maximum Lawyer. We have 3,400 videos, so we
when
get a bunch on there.
when someone comes to you and they got a juicy one, all right, I don't know what else to call it. This is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
juicy one here. Let's just say you use that term.
Sure.
Margie, I appreciate you coming into our firm. This is a juicy one. I'll be honest with you, this is a juicy one. Do you want to go to trial? Because you said one of the reasons you got into law is like I saw myself going into a courtroom. I wanted to be in there trying cases.
If it makes sense, then yes. I mean, we would much rather try the good cases than the ones that are iffy, right? You want to try the good cases. So yeah, my initial thought is let's try the case. If the insurance is there, if the client is up for it, right? If they're not, and there's also other ways too. So let's say that the policy limits are $100,000. It's a big case, right? It's a big case where if there was no limits, this is probably a $5 million case. But let's say the insurance company screwed up. We send the demand, they offer $50,000 when they should have offered $100,000. That happens way more than you might think. In that case, I want to try the case. I want to try the case because I want to get something over the limits to make the insurance company pay over the limits because they screw people over all the time.
So that is
Yeah.
possible because
That
we
is
just talked
possible.
about the state minimum coverage is at $25,000.
Yep.
You're saying it's possible to get over that limit because you know the insurance company has more than $25,000. So, but
Exactly.
does that mean it has to be that the insurance company has to screw something up, or can it ever be like, listen, this is not a $25,000 injury. The guy that was drunk, he blasted into my client. They have lifetime problems. The state minimum is not good enough.
So how we get past the policy is when they screw up. It's called bad faith. So I've got in some of the videos you'll see, I've got a big sledgehammer behind me.
Oh, nice.
And what we call them, we send these hammer letters, but I have a notch every time we've gotten an excess verdict or an excess policy settlement. So my whole goal is to fill up the hammer, the whole handle.
Really?
Yeah.
How many notches are you on? Can
I don't know. I don't know the number. Actually, I'll add it up for you and let you know. But
by
yeah.
the way, I believe that is a great name for an upcoming rock and roll band. Bad Faith.
Bad faith.
Bad Faith. I think that's really, really good. Right?
Yeah. I
Bad
like
faith
that.
in the hammer.
Let me
Bad
go.
faith in the
Let me go
hammer.
back to an earlier question and follow it up now. As an attorney, 15 years experience behind you now?
16.
By the way, you speak, I'm sure, a lot differently than you did when you got out of law school because you are on it. You've got all the thoughts, the answers. You've got a direct line here. You've got a tremendous amount of experience. It's easy to hear that.
Oh, well,
I can hear.
thanks.
So at this point, what's the worst movie you've seen featuring something with an attorney? Did you see the one with Matt Damon when he was trying to
The
help?
Rainmaker.
Is that what it was called?
Is that the one with Danny DeVito? Is that the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's a good one.
I think both of them did a great job, and I thought Matt Damon, he's a pretty good actor. I liked it a lot.
I
He's
do
done a
too.
couple. He did Lincoln Lawyer too.
Lincoln
and yeah.
Lincoln Lawyer was Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew
That's
McConaughey,
right.
that's right.
So-
and then there was the TV series Lincoln Lawyer, which was pretty dope.
I started that.
Wildly
it's okay.
unrealistic,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
So here's the answer your question.
Yeah.
No movie that I can't think of anything that's the worst. I love the Lincoln Lawyer because it's because I did criminal defense in St. Louis for a little bit. It's very like getting to know the bailiffs so you can get your guy over quicker than anyone else. Like there's an art to like befriending the bailiffs because you got a line full of attorneys for their case, right? I walk in, I know the bailiff. Mr. Mutrix has a case, Your Honor. It's like you go to the front of the line. There's a lot.
It's very real.
It's very real.
The personal injury lawyer in my group talked about that too. That it's important for your lawyer to know the judges, to know the other lawyers, to like have because it's like the network thing. It allows you to move the cases faster, know what's acceptable, what's not.
It's true.
He was telling me a cool story about an out-of-town lawyer came in and royally pissed off one of the local judges because like I guess this judge they have
probably a Chicago.
They have
Chicago
they
lawyers
have-
are the worst.
They have
Oh,
the
yeah.
judges. They have they have personalities. They have things about it. And he said it was so funny because it made his case way better. He just kind of sat back and watched this lawyer just pissed off this judge, and I was like, that's pretty funny.
Am I right to think that personal injury lawyers who get to go to court to try the case are having a hell of a lot more fun, that it's more exciting to watch than like criminal law? Because a lot of criminal law is really, really boring when you're in there.
I actually disagree.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the criminal cases are a lot more fun because they're just very interesting. Now we do have some injury cases that would be interesting, but I think from an outsider's perspective, I think that the criminal cases would be probably a little juicier. To use your word, probably a little juicier.
Okay,
to
all
watch.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
I can imagine that because in Hollywood, that's typically the direction people go. You know, and that's when the guy gets pissed off and he jumps off the stand and he's grabbing somebody. Which I mean, well, back to Jack Nicholson and A Few Good Men, he did go after.
You can't handle the truth.
So let me tell you a story on a criminal case.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we have left, but this was a federal case. It was only my second federal case I ever tried.
Oh,
Okay?
wow.
There was 2 confessions on it. So my guy confessed twice.
Okay.
It was a really tragic case. He was accused of having a gun in a duffel bag. Okay, this is really important. There was a legal firearm because he was a prior felon. There was a prior federal public defender, which are really good attorneys, by the way. They're not a state public defender, which are also really good attorneys. They're just the state ones are more overwhelmed. The federal ones not overwhelmed, and they're also really skilled. But he got mad at them, fired the federal public defender, hired me. So I come in, I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this case? This is like there's 2 confessions. So here's the setup of the case. So he is visiting from Chicago, his girlfriend down in southern Illinois. He leaves allegedly the gun in a duffel bag. The girlfriend's brother finds it and accidentally kills himself. Okay? So it's a mandatory minimum of 20 years.
Can I ask the age of the brother?
The brother, I think he was like 18. He was a young adult, 18, 19, something like that. He had some mental issues. He had some.
Okay.
Yeah, he had some. He wasn't. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He had some mental issues. So
Okay.
it was.
All right.
So really serious case. We're talking if he's convicted, mandatory minimum.
20 years.
So he's in an interrogation room for hours. Him and his girlfriend, separate rooms. They're and the whole time he's like, I don't.
With
know what
no
you're talking
lawyer
about.
present, I'm
No lawyer
guessing, right?
present,
Yep.
right? No, like interrogating for hours. I'm talking probably 6, 7, 8 hours.
Oh
Long
my God.
time. Never breaks. And what he does was he goes and they're like, okay, well, we have enough evidence to put it on your girlfriend. We're just gonna put it on her. So the officer's walking out of the room. The detective is, and he's like, hold on, no, fine, I'll confess. Okay. So that's one confession. The second confession.
But isn't that a colluded confession
No,
or a
no,
forced
no,
confession?
I wouldn't say so. It wasn't coerced.
Coerced, that's it,
No,
yeah.
it wasn't. The way they did it, they actually did a really good job. I mean, it wasn't. There was no coercion or anything like that. But
Okay.
so he goes and he calls his grandma in front of the police and confesses to grandma.
Oh my gosh.
Did they ask
On a
him?
recorded line, right?
On a recorded
yeah,
line.
he called on a recorded line.
Yeah. So no, well, he was like, "Hey, they're going to keep me for a while. I did this. Yada yada yada."
Okay.
Jeez.
So fast forward to trial. We try the case. Okay, and I'm like having a screaming match with him on the phone, like because I get a really good offer. It was like 8 years. Okay, really good offer. He wouldn't take it. We have to have 2 confessions, right? So, so he and I are kind of at loggerheads, but we try the case, and it was really interesting. They play the video of the confession, and there was something I did. It's just a little bitty thing I didn't catch whenever I was prepping the trial. Just a little bitty thing. So
You caught it now in the courtroom?
we're in the middle of the courtroom. We're in the middle.
This is like a movie.
This is the movie. Yeah, this
so
is the movie.
I'm in. Like I've had this whole theory, like that. It was someone else's. So we've told the government that we're going to call the girlfriend to testify in our case. So they're expecting that. So they don't call her. So that's one little thing that we did that was really important for the case. But he's in the middle of the confession, and he goes, and because he starts to talk about it, and he goes, the bag was in the RV, right? As if he didn't know that it was in the RV. I was like, wait a second. I think he might be telling the truth. That he didn't know that the bag, because it was important. She had taken apparently the bag and moved it to another location in the house, whereas he thought that the bag was in an RV. And so and then they said, well, no, it was no, I'm sorry. It was in the trunk car, and she had moved it to the RV is what it was.
Okay.
So he goes, that's why he was asking, because he thought it was in the trunk of the car. And he goes, well, so it's in the RV, right? So what they had done was they had told him all the it was a false positive.
Because they fed him the information.
They fed him all the
Yeah.
information, so he was trying to recall the information that they had told him, and they were feeding it back to him.
That's a little bit like what the Chuck Erickson and Ryan Ferguson case. There was some of those pieces.
Where
they were giving Chuck Erickson some of the information.
Exactly. So I I had planned zero cross of the detective on false positives, and I had no idea if he had any experience. So I was like, I'm going to give this a shot. So I go through and have him explain all what false positives are and everything else. I leave it alone. I don't tell them. I don't let them know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
So I just go through false positives
While he's on the stand.
While he's on the stand, right? And the testimony came out great for us. It was great for us. He was actually a really good. He was great at educating people about
and believable.
Like
Like
right?
he was an expert.
Yes.
Yes.
So our case comes around to call. So to call our witness, I don't call the girlfriend. I don't call her because they were waiting because they wanted to cross the hell out of her.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to point the finger at her. Is what I wanted to do. I don't call. And then in closing, I just say, ladies and gentlemen, I confess to them. I say, listen, I saw something during this trial that I honestly didn't catch. I was completely honest with what I told you. And I said, go watch the video again. Watch where he says,
Which they can do when they're back in the
exactly
chambers.
right. I said, ask for the video, and I want you to watch it. I want you to watch the whole thing. And he goes, and I said, watch where he goes. The gun was in the bag was in the RV, right? And I knew I had him. They came back in and they acquitted him. It was the first acquittal in the Southern District of Illinois in 15 years.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
So wait, you said that to them in the closing arguments
Yeah.
instead of following up and putting someone on the stand to prove or whatever.
And
you
as
gotta-
you're- as
it's
the-
now in the past. Nobody's going to
Yep.
be sitting here saying anything more unless they want to come up and try to argue this in the closing. And by the way, did they
Which
have
they
the
can't, because
closing?
doesn't the defense close last?
Well, they have a chance for a rebuttal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But they
what are
can't.
they gonna say?
They can't. What are they
Yeah.
gonna say? They can't.
Yeah.
They didn't call the witness.
That's amazing.
So they couldn't do anything about it.
Unbelievable. That is cool.
That's some courtroom drama
Yeah.
bull
Dude,
crap
Dude,
right
that
there.
has to
That's
be in a
good.
movie.
That's
It was.
awesome.
It was awesome.
And you'd look good in a movie.
You've
You've got a little bit of a movie star
Thanks,
look
thanks.
to you, man.
Thanks. Well, the bailiff. It was one of the biggest compliments I've ever gotten from a judge and a bailiff. Bailiff comes up and says, "I want to shake your hand." He's like, "That's the first acquittal in 15 years." I was like, "What?" And then the judge. I was walking out the parking lot. The clerk ran out and got me. The judge wanted to come in and congratulate me and tell me how great of a
Wow.
it was incredible.
That is so
I was
cool.
I was like, "Oh yeah, this was I didn't think it was the reason why I mentioned the federal public defender. He calls me the next day. He's like, "I'm gonna cuss. What the fuck did you do? How did you do that?" It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
I think it was
I
better.
bet you were riding
was
high
better.
for
Yeah.
a few months
Yeah, it
after
was,
that.
yeah.
He was like,
you-
that's me.
You
That's
kicked
awesome.
Tom Cruise's ass, which is amazing.
Well, he's a foot taller
And,
than Tom
you
Cruise.
know,
Yeah, that's true. Yes, barely. Yeah.
The other thing too is like the number of times we've hung out together, ridden motorcycles together, hanging out at Bowman's place down in his lower level bar. We've never asked you to go into stories about your law life.
Well,
Damn
because
it.
Big Gender's talking all the damn
Right.
time. That's-
That is it exactly. So I'm glad you pointed it out, and I didn't have to be the one to say that. Tyson,
By the way,
this
our
has been-
biggest fan is watching. I texted him
Oh,
beforehand.
I'm sure
So,
he is.
yeah,
That's because
yeah.
he's going to give us hell about something
That's exactly
when this is
right,
done. Amy's doing well, though.
Absolutely.
And
yeah,
are you
she's
guys
great.
still like 100% vegan still?
She's more vegetarian. So
Uh-huh.
you had to bring this up. It's such a loaded thing.
You're in
for
such
people.
great shape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. People are because I'm getting a little jacked. You know.
Yeah, I
so
know
people
you
are
are, man.
surprised.
You look
yeah.
good.
Are you getting those guns with a vegan
Yes.
diet?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't have these before that diet. Yeah.
Look
That's
at that. Look
impressive.
at that. It's good.
Protein,
man.
baby.
You keep taking care of yourself,
Listen,
all right?
You too, brother.
Maybe
I
we'll do
love
this again sometime.
I love eating vegans. They're delicious.
all the way through. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man.
Please stay in touch. What a great. I'll tell you something I thought about this morning, and this didn't lead up to me reaching out to Tyson and saying, "Would you come in and talk about this stuff?" We got into a conversation in our early 30s, me and a bunch of friends. We had been out playing basketball all day, and we went to a buddy's house. We went to Anthony's house to go hit the condo swimming pool. While we were out there, we enjoyed beer, and someone went on another beer run for us, and pretty soon, I think we had all had like a 12-pack.
Oh my gosh.
And there was Amy, his wonderful wife, who's a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like 6 guys going, "What's up, Amy? How you doing?" And she goes, "Well, I just got off work," and we're like, "Yeah," and she made some comment about something that happened at the hospital that day, and we were like, "Hey, I've always wanted to ask a nurse, what about yada, yada, yada?" And we started asking her the craziest ass questions, and she told us everything. You know what the most in-depth conversation was about?
No.
6 guys talking to one of our wives, who's a nurse. If we had every question in the world to ask her, what would it be? Tell us about the penises on the guys.
That tracks. That 100% tracks.
She goes, "Oh, they're all the same. They're all," she goes, "It's, just except this one guy.
Oh no!
We're like, okay, tell us about that. She goes, I mean, it was, and then we'd go get somebody else. You got to go in there and see this.
He had like 12 nurses taking care.
God, that's funny.
One of my favorite friends is an ER doctor, and every time I see him, I was like, "Tell me the stories. I want stories. I want to know all the stories."
Well, and see, they'll do that, but they can't really come on something like this.
Yeah.
But I think what Tyson was able to share, I've never gone to town and in detail with somebody asking these questions. But you know what? I did mess up. To some degree when I didn't reach out to him. Yeah. The problem was the person that was involved in this was and still is a friend of ours.
Oh, for sure.
And I didn't really,
Yeah.
But I think now I should have reached out to Tyson because he's not going to take me down a stupid path.
Right, yeah.
But if I go, look, here's what happened, and this person's a friend.
Yeah.
What am I jeopardizing with this thing?
Right.
Because the amount of money wasn't going to be extreme.
Right.
Friendship is more important to me, I think, than that. But if someone has been negligent or it was on purpose, even if you think you're friends, and we've got to talk about some real pain and suffering going on for years and years, if it's worth $2 million, I don't want to say the friendship's over. I'm just going to say.
Well, and like you said, if it's a claim against your insurance, you don't even have, it's not like you have a car accident and you have a deductible. He's like, you don't even have to pay a deductible. So hopefully it won't hurt them financially in any way.
And there were questions there that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
So
that's why it's good to have
it brings us here.
Are you ready? You got to keep your eyes on the crap.
You can't handle the crap.
Looky here. There's a big difference between shit and shinola.
As my great-grandfather always said, Matumba, keep your eye on the crab.
A little tear in my eye from laughing over here. What a great morning. Okay, keeping your eye on the crap with Family Focus Eye Care and Retuva Medical Spa. Now, they are partner companies, and they are right next door to each other as Retuva has moved over onto Scott Boulevard. Retuva used to be right across West Broadway from our complex here.
Yeah, like we could almost see it from the window,
Right. And so now they've moved just a mile down West Broadway where it turns into Scott, and now they're right next door to Family Focus Eye Care. Online, famfocuseye.com. And today, 4 till 7 o'clock, is their big celebration. It's a fundraiser going on. It's Dunk-a-Doc, where Dr. Rich is going to be in the dunking booth.
You said that last week, and I was like, I can't remember the last time I saw a dunk tank. Like, they used to be at everything. Every church event, everything, there was a dunk tank, and they just, disappeared.
I've been in dunk tanks at least a dozen times in my life.
That's awesome.
But you got to be careful. So I gave him a little advice. I said, okay, when you're on there, make sure you keep your arms in, make sure nothing's in your way. And I go, when you drop, you will drop. Mm-hmm. It'll scare the hell out of you. But you still want to hit anything on the way down. And it is cool out there today. I don't know when they filled the tank.
Ooh.
But
we have that problem with baptisms at the church. It is cold water.
Well,
we're making sure you're serious.
Dr. Rich may be crying like a newborn getting baptized today. Well, you guys probably do baptisms with adults also, don't you?
Of course,
yeah. So that's going to be going on today, 4 till 7. Deb and I are going out there. We'll see you guys there. When I explain this to you about keeping your eye on the crap, it's important you understand why. When we approve of a structure being built, of a rezoning of a piece of property in our area, whether it's Columbia, Boone County, or in the greater area, when that's getting approved or disallowed or not approved, I would really like to know all the why.
Yeah.
Why is it going, why is it not? Downtown Columbia, we were being told that infrastructure was not set for us to bring in lots and lots of apartment buildings back in the day.
And now they're everywhere.
Well, yeah, I think that went through the roof.
Yeah.
And what will happen is someone will say, we shouldn't be putting in more into this footprint. We shouldn't have more dwellings, more people, more human existence in there. And I don't know what the answer is, but I want it above board because I want to be able to keep my eye on the crap or the uncrap, and that's the reality. There is a proposal of a housing complex going in generally speaking, the downtown area. Now, when I say generally speaking, it is, if you look at downtown being confined by the campus, or even include the campus in downtown, you can go all the way out to Stadium and say from Stadium on in, that's downtown. From Providence over is downtown. From College over is downtown. And then somewhere approximately, let's say, Paris Road. Or Rogers Worley. That's all the same street. All of that, if that's that huge downtown area, this falls into that footprint. But this is not part of the district, and so it's not part of the money that is the CID, the Improvement District.
Gotcha.
So the special tax in that area. With that being said, P&Z, Planning and Zoning, is looking at this thing. which is an 8-story student housing complex. People will be for and against this idea. Yesterday, I chimed in on a social media post where someone showed a picture of a house that would need to be demolished if this is going up. There are other buildings that are not historic homes.
Right.
This is what you could call an historic home.
Okay.
So is the one I grew up in.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
It was home.
Okay.
And it was a house. And if somebody wants to take that and put up a new one, I can certainly understand why they would want to. It was built in the 1890s.
Oh, wow.
But it's not historic. The reason it's historic to me is because my father put 3 additions on that
Oh,
house.
wow, yeah.
So that was very cool.
Yeah.
But even though it was Dad's, if you want to knock it down today, go ahead.
Yeah.
People will want to come out and denounce this project and defend that home. Bitch, you want to defend the home? Go buy it. The home probably has many, many problems in it already. And if someone wants to buy it and preserve it, I hope you have the money. I don't need the city of Columbia to buy the damn thing.
Right.
If somebody wants to build, go ahead. Now, with that being said, please keep this in mind. I also think the entities that put in a massive structure like this with 970 beds.
Whoa.
I think they will try to tweak stuff in their favor. Like, for instance, this is going to be 2 separate buildings. One is going to be 8 stories, the other one only 7. Why? So that it'll meld into the surrounding area better. 1-story difference between 7 and 8 ain't making jack difference
Yeah.
in meeting up with that side of the neighborhood better. So that's an example of you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And I just want
Just
you
tell
to
us the real reason.
yeah, and you know what? You ought to just make it 8 in both ways.
Yeah.
Be that as it may, I believe the 8-story may be a little higher than what is already allowed in that area.
Oh, okay.
So
Do we have height restrictions in Columbia?
We certainly do.
I did not know that. Okay.
So, and then parking is an exception here, and other people are saying they're not going to have this. They are proposing 570 parking spaces that I believe they're going to be building.
Whoa.
And I think that's using the lower area, I guess,
Okay.
for that kind of a thing. So they
A
will.
lot of our new places do that, right? Like the parking is the lower 1 or 2 levels,
Yeah.
and then there's living above it.
if they can.
Yeah.
They are required to be taking into account all the beds and how many parking spaces they'll have. They're going to be falling about 150 shy of what they should have.
Oh.
Now, whether that gets approved or not, I don't know. And I'm not saying this should or should not get approved. That's why this is a special keep your eye on the crap. I'm telling you to pay attention to this kind of stuff because I don't have any idea if it should or shouldn't.
Right. Is planning and zoning stuff like the city council when they meet? All
Yeah.
of their notes are public. Is planning and zoning different? Is it not public for all they say or do?
That's a good question, and I don't necessarily know that it isn't public.
Right.
But they will come out, they'll look at everything, and then they'll make a decision, their recommendation, do they approve of this or not?
Right.
And then it goes to city council, and city council can then approve or not approve
Okay.
as they see fit. So the reason I say keep your eye on the crap on this one is because I believe there has always been a level of crap in these dealings, and I've seen stuff happen where I'm like, I don't think that should have been approved, but you know what in the hell do I know about such a thing? So, with that being said, keep your eye on that crap, and then I think we're finishing up, man.
That sounds good. This is a good show today.
It was
I love
fun.
when we're directionless right out of the gate. We're like, we have no idea what's going to happen.
Well,
Let's go.
I think that's part of the quality of a good life.
It's fun.
Sometimes you need direction, and sometimes you just gotta like throw your hands up and go, "What the hell, man?"
Let's get lost today.
And you say, "What the hell," right?
Sure, I'll say what the hell.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You got to get out of here. My friends, do us all a favor, especially yourself. Live this day as if it were your last. I say to you, okay.